Hey, what is up, dudes and dudettes? This is Diligence here, and this is going to be a quick video on tomorrow's Robinhood's IPO. So, Hood's IPO. Okay, so what happens is tomorrow around market opens, Robinhood is going to have its IPO. And who invested in Robinhood? A lot of big names, including Sequoia Capital, who owns around, I think, 8% of it, or something around that mark. We still need to look at the official benefactor and the statement of ownership to really determine how much percentage Sequoia owns. And here are some of the little things or just simple tips or simple information you need to know before you buy into this IPO. First of all, Robinhood issued about 50 million shares, okay, 50 million shares, and they're going to price their IPO at $38. So that will raise approximately about $2 billion. And on CNBC, they valued Robinhood at $32 billion, which I think what they did is they do $38 and times all of the outstanding share, including preferred. There's no preferred actually anymore because they becomes a public company. So it will be their common A and common B stock. And if we look at into their S1, where's their S1? Robinhood is not really a, let's just say if you're an ape, this is not really a stock you want to be investing in. I'm just trying to be honest here, okay? If Robinhood, you're out there and trying to sponsor us, we're gonna make a separate video about you guys if you guys decide to sponsor us. But for right now, we're just gonna talk about all of the honest stuff that is out here. So first of all, this is not gonna be a ape sort of company because there's no way the apes will ever own the flow for Robinhood because of their bylaws and because of how their bylaws are structured and because how their company control structure are structured. So basically, as long as there are 5% of the Class B common share outstanding that sort of disagree with what the common A share people are talking about, your voting power get vetoed. So as a shareholder who holds common A, which is the one we got from the open market, you don't really have as much voting rights. So all of the common B stockholders, including the founders, including passive investors, they own much more voting rights and transfer of control than all of you guys did. So even if we flood a bunch of money into Robinhood, there's no way we will control the flow, okay? And comment down below if you guys want to see a detailed video on Robinhood's S1 in terms of how they're going to make their money, how they're already making their money, and a future projection on how they are going to make money in the future. But for right now, here are some simple stuff you need to understand about Robinhood. First of all, their current business model is literally pay for order flow. So they don't actually execute your trade. They use other firms to execute your trades, okay? So basically, they're like the middleman. And how they're going to grow, the more user they garner from the market, the faster they're going to grow. And as long as they have more and more money asset under management, their valuations are just going to pop. And in the past few years, what they did is they acquired this company called Market Snakes. I think they acquired it for the technology purposes, for their interface and for social media, sort of like it's a for-profit company that does a lot of, a financial social media sort of thing. It's like every other, brokerage firms or hedge fund will control a side of the media, and I think this is a side of media that they're going to control. And also due to their innovative sort of UI on their app, if you actually look at Market Snake, you will know that they probably acquired it for very interesting purposes that we might or might not cover later on in these videos. If you guys want to see further IPO content like Robinhood's IPO, comment down below, and please smash that like button. And also, Robinhood also acquired Bink, which is a non-profit. Actually, it's a very weird acquisition, but I think it sort of fits their long-term plan. But this Bink play is not gonna really matter until about 2 or 3 years in a run. Yeah, so those of you who just tuned in here want to know if $38 is actually a fair price for Robinhood. I think it's way too early to tell right now, $38. For those of you who just want to sort of be a speculator and bought into the Class A stock, probably just only do a very small position because IPO these days tends to go down. I don't know what really is going to happen to tomorrow's IPO price for Robinhood, because the fact that there are a lot of institutional investors are in play right now make it very attractive as a investment sort of play. But at the same time, with all of the lawsuits that are piling up, with people transferring to other brokerage firms, we might see a slow growth for Robinhood in the near future. But right now, I don't really want to form a opinion until I see the volume coming in tomorrow and until I formed a much more detailed DD on the founders. I did a lot of DD on the company itself starting from 2018. I actually closely follows Robinhood's business model and how they're operating their business and how they're treating their investors. In terms of their co-founders, just before IPO, these guys, the co-founder Vlad and Baiju, each sold about 50 million worth of stock. That would be some insider information that will tell you guys how their outlook are on the stock. Fairly interesting, very, very interesting. I wonder when Sequoia is gonna exit though. But when, as you know, when IPO get on the market, they have a quiet. They not really have quiet. They have a lockdown period. So if you are Sequoia, you probably want the stock to trade at least double the price of their offering price by the end of your offering period, by the end of your lockup period, so you can make a quick profit. But I think this is it for this video. For those of you who actually want to see a very detailed due diligence on Robinhood, and why I always say it's not really Robinhood, it's actually hedge fund hood, comment down below. And please, please, please smash a like button. And if you haven't sub already, guys, see you guys on the upside. Quickly add on to this Robinhood IPO video, I just want you guys to know that Robinhood currently have somewhere around 13 million subscribers, right? And then do you really see, like, one of the questions that you have to ask yourself before you bought into IPO is, do you really think there's going to be a 20 million subscriber Robinhood in the near future, especially when the retail monies are sort of dried out, especially in the so-called AMC GME squeeze? Right now, a lot of retail money are strangled and a lot of retail option money are strangled. So if there's not going to be another stimulus check, and a lot of the unemployment rollout is going to be ending around the end of September, you might see some interesting stuff happening in terms of how many people are actively trading on Robinhood. And in terms of price projection for Robinhood, if you really want to see a absolutely price surge on Robinhood stock, you really need to see another way of making money for Robinhood other than just doing the traditional pay for order flow sort of business, which I think is very unethical, and I think is a huge conflict of interest between the brokerage firm and the retail investor as usual. If you guys want me to get deeper in that, comment down below. And the fact that they now have several $1 billion of asset under management, and what I suspect is in the later years of 2021, they might pivot. Their entire business model might change over the next few years. So keep tuned in for that. At the same time, what else you need to think about Robinhood is the public sentiment of it. So if we look at some data on Weibo, if you look at some data in the UK, every country is gonna have their own Robinhood now, and the way how they're gonna do their marketing really is country dependent. For example, in the UK, you have another company called something 21, something 221, or something like that. And Weibo is pretty popular nowadays in the US, even though all of these companies follow the same exact business model. And for those of you who are just fantasizing on any of them who are actual Robinhood in their investing world, you are totally wrong. Those guys actually help hedge fund gather information about retail investors. It's not back in early 2020 where Robinhood actually publicly sort of disclose their level 2 data, which is how many people are actually buying on the day, the percentage of retail investors, buying, say, stock A and stock B, what are the price point that they enter. Remember those days? You can actually track Robinhood, but then they took that down because a lot of people actually made money on that, including myself. I wish that they don't took that down if they're actually the real Robinhood of investing world, because that's basically an open source sort of a software platform that helps retail investor to know the actual market flow or the what's so-called, we will call it probably advanced level 2 data. Let's just put it like that. And I don't think Robinhood Gold actually worth that much money, or is a value they're too much value added, because they don't really give you live level 2 data. If they give you live level 2 data and they offer you the margin that they offers you right now, it probably is a steal. But right now, it's not really worth that much money for a monthly subscription. And if you look at how they treat their margin players, the margin investor players within their platform, there are a lot of risks involved, guys. And if you look at data that related to Robinhood, at least 50% of Robinhood players or Robinhood investors, I like to call them player because essentially it becomes a gambling app. But hey, scratch that, because we cannot say gamble really on YouTube. So don't demonetize us. But it is the truth. It becomes a sort of a option pool gambling activity app. And I'm very concerned about the compliance and the risk aspect of Robinhood going forward. So yeah, this is it.